internet, welcome back. We are live again. Welcome to the UI UX design review and ask me anything episode of this live stream. Today we're going to be taking a bunch of UIs that you guys have submitted and also all of your questions, and we're going to try to break them down and try to address all the issues that come up. Let's get started. So I wanted to start this off with the wonderful projects that we've got from the Discord group of this design community linked in the description. I want to get started by reviewing those, and then we can head on over with the questions. Let's get started. The first portfolio website that we have reviewed for today is honestly amazing. Like, I received this from a fellow viewer yesterday, Anil, and this is incredible in itself. Let's go through what we have over here. Let's try to break it down, see what happens. Hopefully you learn something. Hopefully if you are the person who's made this, you'll have a greater insight into what works, what doesn't. Hopefully this improves everyone's experience overall. Let's jump into it. So this is the first portfolio that we're talking about, anilkodi.framer.website. Again, before I say anything, it is a really cool site. It has many amazing features, and let's just go through those. So the first thing that just catches my eye right off the bat is they've hijacked the cursor, which was a thing that, if you are from the programming side of things, would remember comes from the jQuery side of things. So when this became a trend, people were doing this with jQuery a lot, but now they've done this with Framer, which is also cool. Nothing wrong with that at all. And then we have this awesome site. Again, as you start to scroll, you start to see what truly is so great about this. You're trying to hijack the cursor, you're doing a bunch of things that are really awesome over here. You have this beautiful bento grid which sort of scrolls on itself. Again, before I go to the good parts, I feel like I have to say this right now. The hero section in itself either is missing an image or is just missing some sort of illustrative, colorful element, which I feel like would simplify our lives a lot if was present. So that does definitely catch my eye. Maybe you could add like an image, maybe you could add some sort of an illustration, something going on over here that's more than text, because huge chunks of text will instinctively become boring. Huge chunk of text will become really difficult for people to engage with and to read as a whole, and then the level of intricacy that goes into making your complex UI UX design won't matter anymore. So I feel like this is really important as a thing to say. Maybe try to break this text down, highlight the important components, and add a couple of images. That would make our lives so much easier. As you start to scroll, this is actually pretty good. It has glass morphism for the navigation bar, which is something I'm always going to be a fan of. It has a great about me section, which goes into complete depth on who you are, what your skills and expertise are, who you're perfect for if you're a freelancer or whatever. But I feel like, again, the same exact issue comes up in the smallest of elements, where you have this huge chunk of text, but sometimes it becomes really difficult for the viewer to sort of just go through it without burning themselves out. So maybe highlighting a couple of the important elements wouldn't be such a bad idea. Again, with that said, great use of the white space. There is a ton of white space over here at the top, at the bottom. There is a lot of space for the element to actually breathe, which is something that most UIs will lack, and this is something I'm hyper fixated on at the present. Having a ton of easy breathing space is what makes your life really easy. So this is incredible. The skills and expertise have this really cute pill rounded card, which is also something normal all of us can have in our portfolios. This is totally awesome. You also have the sum of my work section, which sort of scrolls left and right, which is also insane. Again, I would want to see this as a feature across many more portfolios, across many more websites, because when you have something like your own photos as a photographer, when you have your own UI designs as a UI designer, when you have your own projects and works to show in a huge gallery without requiring the user to physically scroll, it makes your visual appearance really easy and gives a really good image. And one other thing you can do right here is have a lot of color between each image. So don't have black, white, black. Just do black, green, black, blue, or alternative combinations of colors, because the more colors you have, the more fun things are going to be. And that is the way this section is, and it's pretty nice actually. It's really, really nice. Again, the same issue sort of comes up, but it doesn't as well. You have this huge chunk of text and sometimes it becomes difficult to read, but at the end of the day it is very well executed, because you have a lot of breathing room, you have a lot of white space, which makes our lives really, really easy. This is my favorite section of this site. This is genuinely incredible. You have all of these images sort of skewed up and they move around with the cursor, which is a great quality of you as a web developer, web designer, now that you're able to show off this level of skill. This is something that's truly unique, and I feel like if you are capable of this, it would be a better idea to have images of your UI, something going on of the cursor hijacking feature at the top in the hero section, because sometimes, and this becomes a problem with hiring managers and people who are looking at your portfolio, sometimes you have this huge chunk of text and it becomes really difficult to read and they'll just quit your site after that. So the cool effects sort of just get buried and that becomes a little bit of an issue. But other than that, if this is the quality that you're able to show over here, you are incredible as a UI UX designer. That's just the truth. Next we have the testimonials section, which is also pretty cool. You don't have to scroll to from time to time get an access of the different people who are giving different reviews. This is incredible. Hats off to you. By the way, you guys, if you have any portfolios, any sites to present, just leave them in the live chat or leave them in the Discord group. We'll take them from there. All right, with that said, this is amazing. Like, this is the person who's making this is the person who goes on to the award sites and all of the really cool parts. So I feel like you are very clearly showing signs of incredible stuff. I have to say that this is insane. We also have the frequently asked questions section, pretty simple accordion, but again, white space is always maintained, which is amazing. That is the goal at the end of the day, having enough space, having enough breathing room for the design to not become too irritating. Again, sometimes with dark modes, since this is a dark mode site, it might be a good idea to have like a light mode toggle on the right side somewhere, but even if you don't, it's the tech community. Dark mode will always get you a win. So it's just a suggestion, but even as it is, this is quite great. I feel like WhatsApp is the primary call to action, which is not a bad thing. WhatsApp is the primary call to action that we've had over here, and it's the green of the site is sort of in conjunction with that WhatsApp green, which is also quite nice. And the footer ends in this nice L shape of a white space, which is quite great, but I would want to see you try to break this text down, maybe highlight a couple of elements or add a couple of images, because just having black and white text is the kind of thing that might become too jarring for some viewers, but that's just a suggestion. That was a pretty nice site. That was genuinely great. Another suggestion that I have, hold on, for this to be able to be visible on the live stream, I would have to do something else. Hold on. So one element that I did want to talk about here is the want a site like this made in Framer. If you're using this, Anil, for your permanent portfolio, I would recommend either getting the Framer paid thing, because sometimes I've in person seen people, especially who are just having really just are all over the place. Sometimes I've seen way too many people become biased of having a tag like this made in Framer. It makes them imagine that their site would also have this tag. So they need to either know that you're not too reliant on the no code side of things, or even if you are, which is not a bad thing, there should be some limits as to where it stops and some limits of where you should not show made in Framer. Maybe get the tag removed, because if this is your primary portfolio and you have got the domain name, it would be a good idea to just invest in your own brand for a bit. But other than that, this is super duper nice, and I love the logo as well, so hats off to you. Amazing. The next site that we have from our community to review is actually a Figma design of a to-do app, which is definitely going to be a weird one to see. All right, so this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, not just because it's a cool UI, but because, and I wanted to bring this on stream at some point, because this is from our new year portfolio tracker SaaS application live stream. Shailendra has built this. This is super duper cool, and it honestly looks incredible. And I love the fact that you've gone through the whole process of using different colors, getting different things to be visually distinct, and I love the to-do list. Like this has been taken from our new year live stream tutorial, and it's been followed to a fault, to a incredible level of detail, and I can't say anything but nice things about this. Like this is genuinely great work. Like you could maybe get rid of the dark contrasts of the dark green, dark blue, dark red, maybe do a little bit of lighter shades on the side of things, and then you could just put this on your portfolio. Like it's that simple. Let's sort of just dive in for the moment on the variations that this person has done from our UI and how that makes things different. I feel like this to-do list in itself, with the icons and everything, just comes together really really easily. The active tasks look pretty nice. All of the different calendar events are great, and I can't say bad things about this, because this is literally one of the projects that has been followed to a fault. Like this not only shows your ability to be able to execute things to a great detail, but also it's a really nice UI. Like I would use this if it was in front of me in any real situation. So that's great as well. Wow, with that done, let's go to the next case study which we have. This is a case study by Manav, and it's on Upskill, a personalized e-learning platform. I feel like this was really interesting to bring up over here because it is a case study, and I get a lot of questions asking what to do with case studies. Maybe we'll just go through this case study and try to see all of the different elements, what this person has got right, what this person can improve, and maybe that will provide us with a very very clear path on making our own case studies and getting them right. So this is going to be a little bit of a learning experience for everyone watching. Let's see what we have over here. I've never sort of reviewed this as clearly as this before, so it's going to be a first for me as well. I try to hold off on seeing all the projects because the review in itself becomes quite amazing at the end. This is Upskill, the personalized e-learning platform. All right off the bat, obviously I have things to say. Hold on, let me just get rid of my image from the left side of the screen because we've got way too much happening. This is Upskill, your personalized e-learning platform, and it has a great first thumbnail image, and I would want to add here maybe the distinct deep blue and deep navy blue contrast. Maybe it just becomes too much at some point, but honestly it works. I'm not going to question things that work. It works. Why fix it if it's not broken? The fonts maybe could be a little bit more rounded or a little bit different, because the same exact font gets sort of taken from top to bottom, and maybe it becomes a little too weird. The thing that bothers me over here is the weird serif angle that sort of goes out with the font. Maybe it's just me, but the kerning seems a little bit weird. Get a different font, maybe anything from the Google Fonts sans serif library, but other than that, I'm not too shabby. I'm not going to complain. The next thing that we have over here is obviously the project overview. I love the fact that you have kept a consistent use of illustration images. That makes things really really nice and easy on the eyes. We also have a detailed project overview, which is also great. And at the end of the day, you have your tools used. I like the fact that you've sort of added Spotify with fueled by Spotify's endless playlists. That's something that's going to make the person who's reviewing this chuckle, and that's going to bring in a little bit of break from the hard life that is reading and then reviewing and then all of that. I love the fact that you have kept a little bit of humor alive. Who doesn't need humor? Because, and then you also have the problem, the solution, and a really really nice sort of process of going across it. I do think here we have the same feedback as we did for the first site. A huge chunk of text without the right words, bolded, highlighted, underlined, something of that pattern, might make it difficult for someone who's just looking at this page to draw up a complete conclusion. But other than that, not too bad. This is actually quite nice. I'm not going to complain because it just works. It still works. I would want to add here, make sure the illustrations that you're using are free for commercial and personal use, or get it licensed, because those issues can be a huge problem if they are not taken seriously in the beginning. All right. Design process. I am very interested in every single piece of design process at all. This case study took 3 weeks to ensure a well-rounded approach. I dedicate time to understand user needs, aligning business goals, and balancing creativity with practicality. Each step from research to final refinements was thoroughly executed to deliver a meaningful and impactful solution. I do want to commend you on this. This is much easier to read and understand than this, because white and blue on stark contrast, no words highlighted, becomes difficult. But now that you've highlighted the first sentence, the user is automatically going to smooth in to read the whole thing. So watch how I just instinctively reviewed this whole thing, sort of read it out loud, but this seemed to be too much. That's where highlighting the right things comes in. But other than that, great. I am a little bit worried on why this is aligned to the right, but even if it's sort of done in the maximalism sort of fashion where things are aligned on the different side of pages, that's not a bad thing. It's good. Not gonna complain, because it's quite good. I love the fact that you have broken your design process down into 5 phases. This is literally what we need to be taking inspiration from, especially in a world where we have freelance clients who do not know what steps are going to be required to execute a whole thing, and then it becomes an issue of, it has taken you 5 days, why is my design not ready yet? I feel like having this and documenting this clearly makes life much easier, especially when you're working on projects, whether you're updating a project manager, whether you're updating a person who's a freelance client. I feel like this becomes a really, really nice way of keeping track of everything that you're doing, and this becomes a great thing in itself. All right, so let's just take a look at all of the different stages that there are, because that makes me want to read it out loud. But great steps anyways. Research, 16 December to 17 December, understanding the problem, targeting audience, industry through research, user interviews, and competitor analysis. And I feel like this is the greatest standard card in terms of all of the details that need to be made. But maybe add a little bit of padding to the top and bottom, left and right. Remove the spacing here and here. Spacing is something that you might have a little bit of an issue with in the beginning, but it will sort itself out. I'm pretty sure it will. Maybe have a little bit of padding, maybe adjust the spacing a little bit, reduce the font size here, increase it here, make it even larger, and that should fix the problems as a whole. This is good. This is genuinely good. Next, we're at core features. I feel like this is something I've seen so many times on apps on Play Store, where you have all of these different apps and their core features are clearly highlighted. And here's the thing with core features, and this is not really specific to this core features page. I feel like this is always going to be relevant across whatever core features you're talking about. Core features, especially when you're launching an app, and this becomes really important when you're launching an app or giving a complete case study, is really a great tool for other people to be able to see what you've built, why you've built it, not miss any of the features. This has happened to many people before, when they're launching an app and not have a clear core features list, or a core features list that doesn't clear everything up. Now your user is sort of going about taking a look at this app, not knowing that this is the feature that I need to have in mind, and they sort of miss it, and they just go through the whole app without taking advantage of the features that you've already built. So core features is something that every UI UX designer at least needs to have down, needs to have ready, and then just needs to have it working. That's really important. I love the sort of beehive nature of things. I wonder if you could do a yellow version of this, where you could have sort of a bee taking you through the whole process in hexagons. That's a really cool concept that just came to me. But even the way it is, you could add a plane here. Maybe that'll be cutely whimsical. I do think this is a great case study of giving every single detail clearly. I would recommend over here maybe breaking these down into a little bit smaller chunks of text, because when you have a 5-line long paragraph, that becomes instantly a huge task for anyone to go through. So maybe just having a couple of lines over here would simplify everyone's lives a lot more. So that's something you might want to take a look at. All right, the next thing we want to talk about, hold up, this seems to have not loaded for some reason. No worries, let's just go to the next section. The next thing I do want to talk about here is the Upskill branding bento grid, which is insane, which is great. This is something that most brands do not have, and to the person who's the owner of the brand in itself, who is a non-tech person, the person who's either hiring you for a freelance opportunity or is their project manager, I feel like this is really, really great in terms of visualizing everything that's going on. This is great in terms of visualizing the actual logo on an app, on a bag, on whatever merch they have, on a logo in front of text as a watermark. This just becomes really, really clear instantly. I might align this text in the bottom corner just to leave a little bit more spacing and to sort of make things similar to what this has going on over here. But other than that, not too shabby, can't complain. With that said, let's talk about research outcomes. I am instantly interested in research outcomes because UX design is very, very based on research, and to have clear research outcomes over here is actually a great thing. Hold on. And we're back. Let's talk about research outcomes because I am genuinely interested in what's going on over here. This could have a couple of great things for us to see. These are key insights from users 24 plus, and I like the fact that you've kept your numbers over here and you've kept your numbers realistic enough to be believable. I might add bar graphs over here just because there is space. Maybe you could have the number line over here and then bar graph all of this out. That would be perfect because a bar graph is the clearest method of describing all the things you have. Move the target audience section to over here, add a bar graph. If you have any questions, leave them in the live chat, but do have a bar graph over here. But I love the fact that you have a clear research outcome section. If you do make a bar graph out of this, even if you don't, shorten all of these. I would recommend going to like even Chat GPT and then putting this line in itself. You know what, I'm just going to do it because I'm so in love with the way this whole thing is. Hold on, I don't think I can select this text. This seems to be an image. No worries, just select this image, go to chatgpt.com and enter this, ask it to stay logged out, ask it to shorten this for a case study and then enter this entire chunk of text. Do that for all of these different things. Even do it for the Anil portfolio that we just saw, and then whatever ChatGPT gives you, maybe it gives you maybe it takes a couple of tries to get it right, but whatever ChatGPT gives you will be a great insight into the way things are going to be done. The next thing we have is, wow, user personas. For relying on the fact I have feedback, I have so much feedback on the user personas instantly. Wow, where do I start? Hold on. I'm trying to process where I start saying anything because I am caught off guard. You know what? This is shocking. This is very shocking. I think. Oh my god. This is shocking. This is where things get shocking, and I never saw this before, but I am seeing it now, and you get to see my reaction. This is so weirdly shocking. Wow. User personas are usually the people you want to be the ideal client for your app, and maybe I feel like this is very risky territory in itself. It would make a person who is definitely from India reviewing your case study laugh, and it would make them sort of have a little bit of nostalgia into when they watched Three Idiots, and when they watched all of the movies from all of these actors, and when they were watching all of these very classic movies themselves. But at some point your work will go international, and I'm saying this because let's just take my example from YouTube. I did not know when my first video went sort of large. I did not know if anyone from outside of India would watch it, especially because I have an accent. And so it was genuinely shocking to me how quickly, and this is a real story just to give you an insight into why I'm a little bit shocked over here. I did not know when my first video, it was the third video we ever put out in long form on this channel, 3 UI UX tips, and when it went huge, bigger than all the other videos, it was shocking to me how many percentage of the viewers were from United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. And when you have this going, I feel like this is why English was always my preferred language for this channel. But when you have your projects up on the internet, you don't know how quick and easy it is for people across the globe to see your site. And here's the thing. If someone is watching from the United States, if someone isn't Indian or speaking Hindi or is from the locality that you are from, they might know these actors because these actors are very, very huge, right? But they might, or they might not know these actors, but at the end of the day they might know these actors, and that there is a bigger chance of that happening. But they might not know each and every single movie. They might not have watched Three Idiots. They might not have watched all of these other movies. And that becomes an issue when either you start to seem like a scammer because you're putting the image of all of these actors and adding some random name because they don't know who Raju Rastogi is. They're just putting these names, and this becomes really, really quickly shocking. And in a world where you're putting your work on Behance and sort of hoping for international clientele, this might become really, really chopping your foot off on the chopping block really, really quickly. Like, this is funny to me. Maybe this is whimsical to me because I know who all of these people are. I also know what their role was in this exact movie. I watched all three. That's just me. That might not be the person watching who is from Bangalore. Not everyone in India even speaks Hindi. Most of the people who watch this channel don't speak Hindi, surprisingly. I've seen the statistics. That's another story for another day. But I feel like this could really, really go wrong really, really quickly. Everyone knows who Deepika Padukone is. Not everyone might know who this user persona is. I would recommend on a professional side sticking to either fake names or names that are just better suited instead of going Bollywood with things. I would recommend that, in my professional opinion, because you have no idea how quickly this will go wrong and how quickly you will become the scammer of someone else's story. I understand that you're not, because I know who these people are, I know who you are, but this will go wrong really, really quickly, and you don't want this to get out of hand. I would recommend getting this changed as quickly as possible. With that said, I don't just roast and walk away. I would like to laugh a moment. Again, I don't want to say this is great, because it is great in the sense that a very small portion of your overall audience might get these references, but I feel like this could go two ways. If all of you watching, what do you think of having really, really clear Bollywood related case user personas? And also, I might be missing this because it has been that long ago. Didn't this character die? I feel like Raju Rastogi died in the movie. Did he not die? No, I don't think he died. Wait, did he die? Payal says a clear no. That's exactly right. Did Raju Rastogi die? I feel like there was a weird sad song where he jumped off a roof. What? Oh my god. I'm going into issues which... Did he die? Did he not die? I don't remember anymore. Can someone remind me if he's dead or not? This sounds so weird on screen. I feel like many people, because I myself don't remember a lot of movies. I have. Payal says, no, he didn't die. He committed... So then, was he alive at the end? I don't know. That's my point. That's my exact point. Most people, Manav, will not know if this person is who this person is. Even if this person's... And even the first example that you pick is... I'm not going to say it on stream, but we all know the actions that he committed. And they're sort of ingrained in our memories, so I wouldn't want you to leave this impression across anyone. Like, this is very, very risky territory. What the heck is going on? You know what, I could read this, but I don't want to. Hold on a minute. All is well is this go-to mantra. I feel like this gets really niched down really, really quickly. The audience for this movies might not be too big on UI UX design. Even for this last one that says "ए मामू जादू की चप्पी देना," I feel like this is very, very specific. यादें मिठाई के डिब्बे की तरह. All of these are very, very niche down. Maybe shift away from them, because this gets jarring really quickly. You went from a professional to what the hell to a professional back again, and you don't want to send everyone on that roller coaster of a ride. This was Payal says, and the user persona should be as close to possible to the common people and user. Exactly. Raju apparently did something, and then you shouldn't be the one who faces the consequences of that story. So I know my point is across. I know this is a very smart person who's built this. I know them from our Discord group, and I know they'll just get this feedback like a boss and get it changed as quickly as possible. But I feel like this was a great warning to be broadcasted across everyone who's watching. Next is empathy map. I am a fan of the way this whole thing works. This is quite amazing. Says, thinks, feels, does. This is good. This is genuinely good. Maybe just select this text, put it in ChatGPT, shorten it a little bit. But even if you don't, it works. It still works. Next we have SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is insane. Great SWOT analysis. I feel like people in case studies will miss SWOT analyses, and it's not the most important thing, but if you have it, kudos to you. SWOT analysis is this is completely great. Maybe shorten these things down. I get the whole Figma collaborator manner of sign as well, but just bring down the text lengths. Too huge, too big to read. Then you have a survey analysis. I feel like you have to be very specific with graphs, because sometimes when you have way too much numbers happening, some people might think that it's fake. Like that has happened when we're reviewing mass portfolios. When you have way too many numbers happening and not enough evidence on where you took them from, not enough story to build it up, I feel like numbers can get fake this quickly. So just don't overdo it with the numbers. This feels like it's just a tiny bit across the line of the number of numbers you're supposed to do. This takes me back to the days of school computer books where you had IT maps, home search, filter, course, category, discussion, live. I like the fact that there's an architecture. Maybe make this easier on the eyes, maybe break it down a little bit more, just leave it out altogether. You could just do each of these sections and maybe add an illustration image and say something nice about the section. That could be done, but this becomes this could be nice, but I feel like the UI in itself is a little too much for me right now. The next thing we have is the user flow. Is it true? I don't want to be too critical, but is it true that you've sort of added every single bar and chart in every single flow chart that you could find? Because that can get too much really, really quickly. By the way, you guys, join our Discord group, because in the next, you know what, I think either on, what day is it? This is Wednesday. All right. On Friday, we will have, not on Friday, wait, hold on. On Thursday, which is tomorrow, we'll have how to build your perfect case studies workshop completely for free for everyone watching. And it's going to talk about how you build your perfect case study, not to overdo it with the wrong kind of things. And I feel like what you're seeing over here is a person who's made this case study, who's done a great job, but I feel like a lot of things are missing. And from the critical point of view, there are way too many faults to sort of ship it. If you are new here, welcome. Join the Discord group, link in the description, because on Thursday, tomorrow, we are having right from over there a free how to make the perfect case studies masterclass. Happens entirely for free for everyone watching. I feel like you shouldn't miss it, because it goes into extreme details on what to do and what not to do on making a model case study. Last time we did a case studies live stream, we talked about everything you should put in there. This time I'm going to build out an actual case study, putting everything together, and hopefully that'll serve as a great conclusion on how to make the perfect case study. So just join the Discord group, say hi over there, and we'll launch the perfect case studies masterclass tomorrow evening, same time, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. With that said, I like the fact that you have wait, hold on, is this a real app? Is this a real app? I want to see if this is a real app, because now you've all got me interested. Upskill, is this a real app? I don't think this is your app. I feel like this is someone else's app. Don't, maybe just not be too close to what it's was already present. I'm not entirely sure if this is a real app. If it is, kudos to you. The typography, is this the same font as the font that was used in the logo and everywhere else? I kind of doubt it. But even if it isn't, a great way to show off typography nonetheless. This is fine. Color palette, great way of visualizing your color palette. Again, has you could have it in a straight line, but this isn't too bad either, not too shabby. I feel like there is a lot of contrast going on, which is always jarring because it's way too bright, way too quickly. Maybe make things a little bit lighter, a little bit easier on the eyes, but other than that, fine. Layout, I don't think everyone needs to know about your layout grid. That's just too much detail and will just burn people out really, really quickly. I like the fact that you have icons. Maybe just do 4, because having all sorts of icons, again, you have too much data going on and that burns people out really, really quickly. This was also the case for the text. This was also the case for the icons. Just way too much data is going to annoy users. Maybe just add 4 and then link to the icon library on Figma or whatever. But just make sure it isn't too much. Again, I feel like if you had spread these components out across 2 or 3 pages, things would have been much, much easier to see. But right now, this is way too much contrast, way too quickly, all over the place. And this is just really, really, really a lot of stuff. So if you're looking for how to make the perfect case study, we are doing a masterclass for that tomorrow, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Join the Discord group for every single detail, because you do not want to miss it. Go join. We also have the splash screen onboarding screens. Again, I feel like you should have added this really, really early, because after jarring us with the weird user personas and way too much information, I feel like this just becomes too late, because you could have added this in the beginning, cut out all of the extra stuff, and it would still have worked. This is actually a great section, by the way. This is a great section, but I do think you should have added this earlier. This is good, but you should have added this sort of before everything else. What is going on? Is this an ad? Hold on, is this an ad? No, this isn't an ad. This is a detail of everything that we're building. That is great. Maybe you could highlight each of these sections in light blue or light green, just so that this isn't being confused with an ad, because I sort of confused it with an ad, and it's really easy to, especially with the way Google ads are. But other than that, this is really detailed and this is great. I do think you should reduce the font size a little bit and make sure to remove a little bit of padding. I understand sometimes extra padding can appear when you're mounting the same padding for some fonts, but then you have to increase the padding that's over here to reach like a visual equal point. I will make a video on how to address buttons like these, but other than that, it's fine. Clear portfolio, not too confusing, good for you. I do wonder why you've added the privacy policy page over here, because privacy policy is just something that you have. It's just a chunk of text and it doesn't have to show a huge ton of detail into. What do you guys think of this whole entire UI? I would want to hear everyone who's watching's feedback. Privacy policy is something that's you do across a really long page, and it's just text at the end of the day. It's a legal document, it's just text. You don't have to waste time on this portfolio showing absolutely everything. What do you guys rate this out of 10? Because I do see the person has put immense effort into making this happen. Hats off to you on this. Again, how to get these things right, how to not make small little mistakes that crap your chances out, I will address tomorrow, because this is now the need of the hour. We'll have a masterclass tomorrow, Thursday, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Go join the Discord group, link in the description, and everything will be made available to you completely for free. And now we have the remaining screens. I feel like this is good. The whole screen section, maybe you should have added this earlier, just shift it above to be a little bit earlier, and that should fix things. And this is another prototype, which is great. This is actually a visualization of the app and the way it is. Try the app for yourself. I don't think it's wait, wow, this is great. You've added a Figma prototype. I feel like this is going to be really, really great to someone who's never done it. I do encourage users to sort of try this out. This this is quite nice, the fact that you've added this experience. Maybe you could add this experience earlier, maybe you could just highlight this experience, link to this, instead of going on weird huge text paragraphs, extremely long 8 to 10 graphs of things that weren't needed. Normally says, do you know what the best kind of web design is? The best kind of web design is, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I feel like all web design is great. You have to know how to execute things correctly, and all web design is great. Web design in itself is a field of software design, which is great. I didn't get that joke. Anyways, thank you for scrolling this far. Alright, so this is the entire the entire case study for Upskill, and it is quite nice. I would give this 8 out of 10 just on account of the fact that I see how hard this person has worked, and I see the immense want, and which is the most important thing of all, to just get this right, and this is incredible. Again, let's go to the next review, which is also by Manav. This is called Resident Evil 4 web design. I do wonder if it's taken from a real, is there a real Resident Evil website design? Is there a real actual game that exists with this name? I wonder how much of that is inspired. I would want to Google check. Just hold on a moment. This is a real game, and a lot of the iconography is from that game. I feel like this is why you might not want to have this on your primary portfolio, because this game already exists, and because all of the fonts and things have already been executed. Even if you get it right, even if you add something, many people who are watching might not be aware of this game, and many people who might be watching might discount your efforts as efforts already made by the design team of the game. This is why I feel like you shouldn't take a game that's already very well designed, because it mixes up what you're making. But other than that, this is a great UI. I feel like this is a great addition, sort of adding this image on a corner offset a little bit, and it makes things interesting when you're in the middle of these scrolls. And I feel like this is a great addition to have. Again, I like the fact that you've added these numbers in the background, but it becomes a little bit difficult to comment on when there is a real game that sort of exists. It becomes really easy to discount it as something that's already been done. I doubt you're the designer for this, and this isn't a smart choice on your portfolio. I feel like you just went down a niche category, and that sort of stuck. The next thing we have with us is UI Snapshots Creative Modern App Design Collection, medical consultancy app. Again, great case study. I do want to explore this just on account of how attractive it is. The font size you might want to reduce the font size here a little bit. Color palette is this, you've done a good job with the color palette. Typography is something that's bothering me a little bit and will bother so many people. Just get your spellings checked, please. But the font and the way you executed this is something that I'm learning from. This is what I'm taking inspiration from. So ABCD, Poppins, bold, medium, regular, light. You've done a great job with the typography. This is great. The next thing we have is final design. Final design. So all of these are the different screens of the app itself. I feel like this becomes a little bit difficult to view, especially when you sort of have to tilt your head like 45 degrees. Maybe just simplify this, not rotate it so much, because it becomes difficult for someone who hasn't been in tech to tell whether this is a clear UI, whether this is the UI. This just becomes a little bit complicated. All right. So the next thing that we have is, I do like the fact that you've added this 2 in sort of the reduced opacity. That's a great thing. There is a lack of white space which was present with the Upskill UI, so maybe add a little bit of white space, reduce the font size. But other than that, you actually had all the elements. The color palette, every single time every single time something changes. So for this, the color palette was pills. I feel like some people might confuse this to be the color of the pill, and then what is the color, what is not the color, is this yellow a part of the color palette? So maybe just not use it so weirdly that it makes things complicated. Just get rid of this yellow entirely. If you're wanting to put it in pills, get rid of this yellow, because then now people are thinking of this yellow, because not everyone is aware of hex codes. So maybe normally says it's crazy how we design as developers think UIs and everything, but all you really need is 7 lines of CSS to make something good to performant. I do think you have to have a little bit of niche, and you have to do a little bit of brainstorming in order to make your product stand out, because 7 lines of CSS will center line something for you, but there is a little bit of visual difference that you could add, and that would make things really, really easy. Again, to each his own. There is a lot of spacing that needs to be added over here, but honestly, this is a great effort. This is great effort in itself. Again, I feel like way too much happens way too quickly. Maybe separate these out in their own portfolios, because you've done the work of 3 different case studies, and when it gets pushed into one single box, now people are not reviewing what you've done as nicely as they should. Maybe add a little bit of spacing. If you had spaced what is on this one single page on 3 different pages, which would have been easier actually, your portfolio would look much better. Like that's just insane. And I honestly think, Manav, you've done a great job with all of your portfolios, all of your case studies, and getting them right is just about adjusting the spacing. The last 10% is remaining, and I love the fact that you worked so hard on getting these things right. This is incredible. This is insane. All right, the next thing that we have is UI UX case study by Payal. I feel like I wanted to get to this really early on, but a lot of things happened and we couldn't, and now we have the UI UX case study, Unlocking Mental Wellness, Zenly's Journey of Seamless Journaling and Crisis. I do want to read what this is, because this image honestly makes me very interested in what's going on over here. Nice UI, nice cover image. I do want to read everything that there is, and hopefully we'll find a lot of content that is actually useful. Let's get started. So the first thing that we have here is introduction. This project was completed in 5 weeks. As this was my first case study, it serves a valuable addition to my portfolio. It took charge of every aspect encompassing research, design, and testing, and it's divided into 3 parts: establishing context and problem selection, research and mission statement, solution and visual design. And you've also added us a video just to get it to the people who are short on time. I think this is the greatest introduction that has ever been written about case studies on this channel. Genuinely great job, Payal, because getting these concepts down as clearly as you have will give you such a huge leg up compared to the other 100,000 candidates available. You have no idea how good you've gotten it. Like, this is, and I'm saluting you on this really amazing piece of content. This is genuinely amazing. There is a promo video which I am very interested in, because I want to see all the videos in the world. That's just my personality, but I feel like YouTube might give me a little bit of a problem live streaming this and then sort of reposting it on the channel, so I might have to avoid it, but I will give you a feedback, and I think this is going to be a great feedback just on account of the thumbnail of this video itself on the Discord group. So if you guys want to check out what I say about this video on the Discord group, you could maybe join us there, link in the description, but I can't just play it right now because live stream might get blocked. Establishing context and problem selection. First of all, wow, great job on getting all of these concepts clearly. I feel like this is what most case studies will lack. Normally says, where can I drop a website for review? Right now, you can go to the first link in the description, submit your UI UX case studies for live here. So if you go to the description, there is a Discord link group. Go drop your website there. I will review it today, right this moment, right here, right now. Don't waste your time. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about how great this case study is, because they've gotten because I feel like, even though I haven't gone into a great level of detail for this case study before today, I feel like they've taken a great amount of effort into breaking down the problem, and then they are building a story on top of the first element, the second element, the third element. This is a short, sweet, perfect example of how a portfolio case study should be. Like, this is the model. I will post, hold on, I'll just post the link of the Discord group. Could someone get the link of the Discord group in here, please? A couple of people are watching. I would request anyone who's watching to, can you please just send the link of the Discord group so that normally can join us. If it doesn't happen in 5 minutes, I'll just send it there myself, but I don't want to. If you're already in the Discord group, send it in the general tab. Just send it in the general tab. Hold on. Just send it right here in the general tab. No one cares about how organized we are. We're just chaotic, and that's fine. The Discord group is quite chaotic, and it's fine. You can just send whatever you want there. I will never block you at all. Model case study time. I am so excited for this case study. You take the first element, establishing the context and problem selection, and I feel like you could get the font size a little bit smaller, but even if you don't, maybe I'm just too nitpicky. The story is, I decided to design a mental wellness app because I witnessed how anxiety affected my closest friend after she got married. She struggled silently, unable to find a safe space to express herself, to speak or seek professional help without worrying about the stigma associated with mental health problems in our society. Seeing her struggle firsthand inspired me to deliver a solution that provides support and guidance to those facing similar challenges without fear of judgment or stigma. The mental wellness app is cluttered, yet the app lacks some basic and important built-in access features, which I have tried to incorporate into my app. While you've outdone every expectation I had of any portfolio at all. This is the greatest story in all stories in case studies, and I'll tell you why. Now that there is a story of this person who has struggled in their marriage, I feel like I am able to very easily relate this to someone I know. And there is a very huge, like, most marriages have struggles, and most of the time everyone knows someone who's a friend, who's a close relative, who's sort of in the same problem, and it becomes really easy for anyone across any country, any language to be able to relate to this. This is what a relatable story looks like. Even if this wasn't real, which I feel like from the emotion it is, even if this wasn't real, it would still get the hearts of those who are reading this, and it would still make your portfolio a hit. This story led me to think about how might we design an intuitive and accessible user interface that seamlessly integrates prompts for daily journaling while also allowing users to quickly and easily access emergency services. I love the fact that you've highlighted the important parts, even in high stress situations, to encourage regular engagement and ensure users feel supported in their mental wellness journey. Great feedback. Number 2, research and mission statement. I feel like this was the greatest context and story that you've done, and I can't top it. This is what I would do. This is exactly what I would do, line by line, entirely what I would do. Research and mission statement. Discovery phase, researching problem space. Secondary research. I started the project by conducting secondary research to understand the current mental health and journaling app platforms available in the market and analyze the gray areas. Key insights are as follows. Users 92% liked usable apps that offer a variety of features that were personalized. Maybe you might want to highlight the features that you have over here. So for example, personalized, affordable, informative, credible, and secure. That might reduce the reading time a little bit, but other than that, fine. 73% feel normal and offer social support. 64% provide emergency contact information. Mental health app is important. 77% complained about lack of content variety. Limited options for mood and feeling tracking. Why existing journaling apps and methods fall short? A breakdown with examples. A. In-app access to emergency helpline. Lack of access to emergency care. And there is lack of access among the masses. This app is comprehensive, but there is no access to suicide helpline, despite an app that helps with mental stress issues. Even if there might be a one-off case, lack of an emergency help can lead to severe impact, and they might not even think of searching on the internet if they don't know the contact number. That's actually very true. I feel like, and this is a very personal story to me as well, I feel like not everyone knows a mental health helpline exists, and that can affect people so badly. Like, I've been before today in a place where I wanted mental help, and just being tech savvy just knowing that the government and all of these different places have mental health helplines, and just knowing that it exists, and being able to do one single Google research saved me from a lot of trouble. And that's just a really personal story, but that's not always the case with every single person who isn't tech savvy. And we as people who are in tech, we as people who are really close to everything that exists on the internet, should think this way. This is great, especially because many people that I know, many people who I know who have struggled with mental health in the past, do not know that a suicide helpline or a mental health helpline exists, which I did, which helped me a lot back in the day. B, lack of journal prompts. Problem T. B, lack of journal prompts. Many digital journals, unlike physical journals, lack prompts for users. Users sometimes are looking for a starting point to write about when they do not have a lot on their mind. Daily Bean does not have any prompts to provide users as a reference point. That is a very great thought. Having a new file, having a new journaling prompt, and not knowing what to write about can just stop that whole creative juice from starting to flow. And that's just really true. That's a great insight. With no reference point to start, users might drop off an app for journaling, leading to low conversion. That's very good UX. That's very good UX. What was the solution? Zenly, a personal reflective take on cultivation of journaling as a habit and making mental health accessible to all. I would want to see this video. You have no idea how much I want to see this video, but I am afraid of what YouTube might do if I sort of play a whole video on a live stream. Can we do that? Can we react? Hold on. Can we react? I want to see this. Can we react? Who am I searching for? I feel like people do react on live streams, don't they? Yeah, someone just confirm this for me. I'm a little bit scared. You know what? I'm going to react to this video, and I'm going to try my best to react to this video because I am so very interested. I'll take care of it. Alright, so we have a YouTube video which is going across all of the different details, and I don't think it has audio. I think it does just sort of go very quickly into navigating it. Maybe have a little bit of text, maybe have a little bit of audio, maybe add a little bit of spacing in here. There is a lot happening on the screen in itself, but on its own, I feel like you've done a great job with the UX. Analyzing market and competitors. Competitive benchmarking revealed an oversaturated market in identical feature sets. That's true. Current journaling apps lack intuitive crisis management. I like the fact that you've added all sorts of logos so that you can compare what brands they're talking about really clearly. Current journaling apps lack intuitive crisis management without immediate support during critical moments. This table is an analysis of Zenly vis-a-vis other competitors. I love the fact that you've made it clear. Maybe make it this a little bit larger, but that might be a problem on Medium. But I feel like this is the nicest feedback chart we've gotten in a really long time. Restraints that I faced. What's life without challenges anyway? True, very true. Love the emoji. The constraint in validating our hero features was understanding. I feel like at some point the second part becomes sort of huge. And I do want to take a look at what the length of the whole thing is. Alright, this isn't too long. I was afraid of the whole medium scroll bar thing. This isn't too long, honestly. It's hold on, it's fine. Where are we? Wow, here we are. Constraint in validating our features while understanding if the users really need features in in-app emergencies. I feel like you could highlight important parts like you have done over here, but maybe a little bit more. So to overcome this restraint, I use a technique of user interviews or surveys to understand pulse of users and then iterate on the features. That's great. Then you've done your user interviews, you've done your user surveys. Again, all of these things are very important. All of these things show me that you're a great UX designer. Almost all participants, 98%, showed an urge to have an in-app access to emergency helplines when they felt on the edge of self-harm. True. And I like the fact that you've very clearly highlighted it with a complete table as well. 66% participants currently using journaling and mental wellness apps experience lack of access to therapists. 89% prefer prompts for journaling. I do wonder if you've heard of the app, which is there was a therapy app. I think there was something. I've forgotten the name. Excuse me. This is weird. Wow. Brain fart. User persona. Zenly is an app that targets large parts of society, but for the sake of simplicity, I have drawn 2 user personas. I think this is the ideal user persona, Riya Tiwari, 27, whatever their job position is, and their problems as well. I love the fact that you have added very, very clear user personas. This is what I'm talking about. Zenly mission statement. Zenly is an innovative mobile application designed to support mental health, wellness, self-care. I feel like you could genuinely put this in a startup and pitch it on a place like Shark Tank. I have that feeling on how good of a UX designer you are and how detailed you've gone with every single detail. Like you could with a little bit of refinement put this on Shark Tank. Zenly is designed. Sorry, what? Zenly. I can't speak now. Aims to provide a holistic approach to mental health care, incorporating emergency support, goal setting, health vitals monitoring, and community engagement. Highlight these, make them bold so that everyone watching knows that you're a great UX designer. I feel like to the person who's made this file, you have done an incredible job. Just highlight the fact that you've done an incredible job. You've already done an incredible job. I would be the biggest liar in the world if I said this wasn't great, but maybe just show the people that you're great. Highlight it. Just be in their face with the marketing. Zenly's business goals: increase user engagement, monetize opportunities, promote mental health advocacy. I feel like this is the point where you select this text, go to ChatGPT, shorten it, because many people won't have the time to read this. When you have 100 different portfolios with 3 different case studies each, the length becomes an issue. But I love the fact that you've added must have, should have, could have, and the MVP method. This is great. Solution and visual design. Approaching a solution through a visual, personal, and reflective experience. Highlight these words. These words need to be made bold. Please. It's going to make everyone's lives easier. The design goal is visual, coherent, simple. I love the fact that you've added this. Maybe get rid of some extra text, maybe shorten it, and then add this image. Make it the biggest image there. And then people will say, wow, you are a great UX designer, Payal. You are hired. All right. But I'm serious, you are hired. If you are able to reflect what you're doing in this great a fashion, you are hired. Why is this user map not the first thing I see? This is the prettiest thing I've ever seen, and this isn't at the beginning of your portfolio. Why is this not here? Why is this not below the 3rd solution and visual design section? Just add it over there. Why is there so much text going on when you could have these beautiful images going on? Why stop at that? Just go for it. Visual adventure starts here. The mission was to capture essence of the perfect vibe for this app, and you have done it. The mood board is actually quite incredible. If you got rid of this image, even though the visual appeal might go down, what you're doing might become clear and you come off looking like the great UI designer that you are. Setting visual guidelines. I feel like you've done a great job with this image as well. Once again, you have your fonts, you have your colors, you have your icons. Why are they not bigger than the text? Images are genuinely what catch users' eyes more than text. So have them over there as the biggest thing there is. Payal, you've done a lot of hard work and the greatest job that there could be. Show it off. Come on. You can get this. Like this is so great. You can get this. Show it off. Mid-fidelity. Wow, look at that. We have every single mid-fidelity wireframe that there is, and just show it off. Make it bigger than the text. I don't want to read all of this text. I want to see the images that you've done. Show me your work. An image, a picture speaks more than 1,000 words, something like that. I'm really bad with these sayings. I'm not a wise person with the sayings right now. Iterations from usability tests. This is what gets me interested once again. 8 rounds of moderated tests informed iterations that helped refocus screens. I feel like you could shorten this a little bit, because asking the participants, making this shorter is quite easy with ChatGPT. Just go for it. Adding app guide screens for onboarding. Having few onboarding screens to describe the features would help the users have some idea of the app and build curiosity and attraction towards the app. This is actually great. Maybe put this image in front of the before the text, so that now this text is serving as a caption to this image instead of something that the users have to go through before they can actually experience what this image is. Again, with that said, is this the greatest case study I have seen on this channel? Absolutely. Is it very, very close to what I would have done? In fact, it's shockingly very close. But I feel like from the person who is reviewing this, from the person who is on your side, I would want you to shine a little bit more. Just be seen as the great UX designer that you are. before and after. Why is this image not bigger? Why is this image not in the front of the things? Wow, please, Pile, go home today, make these images larger, please. I want to see this case study be the best case study in the market. I want to see the images bigger. I want to see the images. Come on. Why are you bothering me with the text? I feel like this 8-step journey could be really, really nice. Maybe put this in like a, I don't know if I'm getting my point across, in like a weird string, and then you have all of these images on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would also be a great visual journey. But the final MVP is what we were waiting for. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Add a heading, add a subheading, put the grandest image you can, and then put your text. I feel like this is where you start to get it right. This is the moment where it clicks. This is the moment where you also get the thing that I'm talking about. You have your image. I get to see your onboarding screens. I get to see how pretty they look. And now we can talk about all of these. And now you've also started to underline and highlight your headings. This is where you have your emoji of the day, journal guidelines, voice entry. Even if a person does not read this text, they're still okay knowing all of the things that they need to know, right? Again, we have now this is what I'm talking about. As we progress with the case study, you get better at the case study, and when you look at this, and when you look at the first section of the case study, we get to see how much Payal has improved. This is amazing. This is real world. This is real life. Like, if you could you could do this much in one case study, show this much range, I wonder how much you could do in just taking what's right about your case study, putting images first, then the text, and then highlighting the important parts of the text. And I wonder what would happen if you just double down on what's actually working, what's actually great. I feel like this is really, really great. Maybe make this text a little bit smaller, because SOS helpline, suicide prevention, drug abuse, maybe either make it bolder or make it smaller. Do one of those things or do both of those things, because you need to highlight text without boring the person down. That's a very real risk that we run into as UI UX designers. With that said, now you have a hero of the project. Wait, hold on. Community and consultation. Community. Healing journey is often lonely, but not with Zenly. It enables users to join a community who share the same mental health battle as them and are trying to help. Consultations. Now users can book therapy sessions conveniently through Zenly to seek medical relief. Great job. Highlight the important words. Make images first, especially in the first half of the case study. Again, now you have your complete video, which is the hero feature. I like the fact that you've added videos. I like the fact that you see, check this out. This is what I'm talking about. This image is the biggest image on this part of the UI. Why was it not present in the beginning? As I'm saying this, I'm realizing you're realizing this as well. You got it right in the end, but just also get it right in the beginning now. Impact, like this is what I was imagining first, having this huge map where people can draw their conclusions, and then having this one single sentence that actually delivers true impact. I know that's on the nose, but impact. All of these people are giving their feedback, which is amazing. Maybe make their feedbacks a little bit bigger. Maybe get real images, because sometimes when you have illustration images with real names, that starts to seem fake to some audiences. So maybe keep that in mind. But other than that, great. You have future considerations, which is also very important. Make this smaller, please. Key takeaways and learnings, which is also great. Please just make this a little bit smaller or highlight the important parts, because I don't know where to focus. If I don't have the time, if I'm a hiring manager busy with 100 other portfolios, I don't know where to focus, which becomes a real issue. Conclusion is, you know how to build a great case study. Conclusion is also, you know in the end of the case study how to get things right. Conclusion is also, you should go back to the first couple of sections, maybe take a look at this video again, and just refine your portfolio, because this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. You've worked very, very hard, and I can see that, and this is amazing. This is amazing. At the end of the day, this is amazing. Additional information, tools used: Figma, Canva, Brain, Weed, multiple AI tools. Amazing, incredible. I don't know if the mic caught that. The finish line, it's awesome. I feel like this is amazing. If you're open to internship roles and freelance projects, please just take this video and then sort of go back from where we started reviewing this, and just take the feedback, because you will have the greatest case studies of all time. Out of 10. Claps out of 10. I can't grade this, because you worked so hard, and I know this much is the amount of effort that it takes to just make this the best case study out there. I can't say many bad things about this, honestly. I can't nitpick it too much. The next thing that we have is a Behance gallery, which I am excited about. Normally says My design brain muddled. Hold on, I can't read the comments. My design model brain realized that big background is green and clothes you're wearing is pink. Complementary colors, big brain. Wow. I didn't notice that, but I feel like that's very intentional. With me, things are intentional. I don't think about colors. One day you'll find me wearing the same exact shade of green, although I don't have that shade, but when you green screen it, it'll be a floating head. I might do that as a prank someday. When is April Fool's? I'll do a crazy prank live stream on April Fools. Please join me. You won't know the way humor hits you before it has hit you. April Fools is coming, and I have so many cool pranks, including a floating green screen head. So if you want to see a floating green screen head do many more UI design related pranks, join me live, April Fools. FuelEase. Fuel at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. I feel like this is great. This is by Mohammed Junaid, and this is great in terms of getting your sans serif fonts right. But again, I feel like when a design is, I want to draw a conclusion from what we have right here. When you have a design that relies so heavily on black and white, double down on the black and white. Don't make me miss colors now, because either go with dark mode, because I feel like there is no primary color over here. Even when there is a primary color, it's not present when the call to action button. So either don't have a primary color, which I think you should, but when you do have this blue primary color, add it to your call to action button, because enter manually is not, if you had just one shot on getting the user to click on something. This is the concept with primary colors. If you only had one shot to get a user to click on a button, where would you want them to click? Would you want them to click on edit order or enter manually, or would you want to click them on buy now? I feel like you would want them to click on buy now, which is why your primary color needs to be on the button that says buy now. Very, very important feedback. You've got your introduction down. Maybe get this introduction of yourself at the end and get the introduction of the project in the beginning, because that is what the people are looking at. The problem arose when I ran out of fuel while rushing to an important event, and there was no fuel in stations nearby. This led to delays, frustrations, and missed opportunities. I feel like you could underline or highlight missed opportunities somehow. Incident highlighted a common issue. Many people, especially in remote areas with limited mobility, face challenges when they run out of fuel. This experience inspired the idea for FuelEase, a solution to deliver fuel directly to users when they need it most. Great concept. Great concept. Break this text down. Bold the elements that you need to bold. Just this is great text. Maybe just get the styling right, because this is a style portfolio. Hold on, how the hell did this font change? I feel like we were very committed to the sans serif and long font. Sometimes this is the title font, sometimes this is the title font, sometimes this is the title font. Why do we have so many fonts, and why are they so inconsistent? That's a genuine question. Maybe try to fix that. After identifying the problems, I questioned whether it affected others or if it was a personal issue. To determine the need for the solution, I conducted surveys to assess if fuel delivery would address widespread problems and make a meaningful impact. Highlight the important words. Same exact feedback. You've done a good job with all of these. Maybe just take these words, make them shorter, maybe get these colors right. I feel like you're struggling with colors and typography a little bit, which is a little bit of an issue. Maybe make these texts a little bit smaller. And I feel like this is the same feedback we had for the Upskill portfolio as well, where there were way too many charts and not a lot of data. Maybe just make them a little bit smaller. I feel like this is from Google Forms. Change the color a little bit. That will make you really stand out as a UI UX designer. And don't put so many charts that it becomes difficult for us to comprehend them. Put one chart, put two great charts. Look at Payal's case study. It has one great table, and then that's it. And it's very, very clear. It's very, very present. I feel like this is just way too many charts at some point. Despite 100%, again, font changes again. Font changed before, font changed again, font changed before, font changed again. You're just going alternating me, which is crazy. Despite 100% of survey respondents saying they hadn't used fuel delivery apps, I grew curious. After researching, I discovered FuelBuddy, an app offering doorstep fuel delivery in India. This marked the start of my competitor analysis. Great, you've introduced an actual story for competitive analysis. Hats off to you on that. And again, you're changing the font again. You're making me mad again. 3 different times that you've changed the font. I am so mad right now. Wow, YouTube. Wow. FuelBuddy is India's pioneering fuel delivery app offering doorstep diesel delivery for businesses, industries, and homes. Launched with the aim to simplify refueling logistics, it provides a seamless experience for users to place orders, track deliveries, and manage their fuel needs efficiently. it has established itself, something. I feel like you should make this smaller, go to ChatGPT, dump this whole piece of text and tell ChatGPT to shorten it for a case study of UI UX design, and it will do it for you. Just, why are you wasting everyone's time? Shorten it, please. Where did you go? I feel like we lost it. Wow. Where did it actually go? I feel like I lost it again. Here it is. Here's what I found. I feel like this should have been very, very short, and maybe improve on the UI designs a little bit, improve a little bit of the spacing. Why does this look like Google Ads? Why? I feel like you're still struggling with the colors and the typography. Join the 100 Days of UI Design live streams that we've done in the past. Go to the playlists of this channel. You will find easy, medium and beginner and advanced UI design projects. Maybe do 1 or 2 of those, because right now you're struggling with colors and typography and every single UI design concept that exists, which becomes a problem very, very soon, right? And it just gets to your nerves sometimes, because there's just too much text. Wow. You have your key features, you have your design aesthetics, you have a user flow, but the colors are not working, so I don't want to see it. Wow, this just because there is so much text and not a lot of relief, and just fonts keep changing, colors keep changing. This is not matching what was going on in this for some reason. Why is this and this different? I feel like this is giving a bunch of red flags. If this was your UI, what the hell was that doing? If this is your UI, where is the primary color? What is going on? Come on, get the text shortened, get your colors right, get your fonts right, maybe follow 1 or 2 of the long form tutorials that we've done, or follow 10. And I feel like this is just no idea what you're doing, and just doing it anyways. This is a little bit too much for me. So just, I feel like my feedback is going to be, fix the fonts, fix the colors, fix the text lengths, and structure it properly. So we saw in the last case study that we just saw, since the beginning, there was a very clear idea on what the portfolio looked like, simply because we have an introduction which tells us how many parts we are talking about, what the title elements of are that we're talking about. And I feel like in FuelEase we just lost that a little bit, and it sort of railed its way out of control, and that just freaked me out a little bit. With that said, we've got some things in the Discord group and something else in the Discord group as well. I do want to address this. Let's just take a look at everything. Is this all right? rnvadan.versailles.app, available for freelance. Great UI design portfolio, really simplistic, really clear. I feel like this is very classical. Have you made this yourself, or is this like Framer it is? I think this is still Framer, because it talks about leanness. Yes sir, it is Framer. Anyways, I like the fact that you've gotten rid of the Framer tag, which is good. It is a really professional portfolio. It has a great use of the fonts. As a luxury site, this just gets it right all the time. It has your local time, which I don't know why it has that, but maybe, right, you have your local time, because if someone's reaching out to you in real time, they should know what your local time is. Great job. Wait, is this my local time or is this your local time? I feel like that's just something that you need to think about. Maybe get it to your local time and then have a little bit of a sentence here on why that is the case, because you don't want to have random things going on. About me, I feel like this is a little bit of a red flag when you don't have your image. Either don't have this section, don't have your image, or don't put this, because this just makes me feel like you're so, I understand camera shyness, I had it for the longest time, but at some point it becomes a little bit of a red flag issue with a freelance client, right? That's just something that genuinely happens, because I don't know who you are, I don't know what it is, and now because you've placed a black box, there is a bigger consideration on now I don't know who you are, and that's just bugging my mind constantly as someone who's willing to hire you. That becomes a problem. Experience: 2022 to present one-man agency, great job. 2013 to 2022 student, nice. As the sole operator of a one-man design and programming agency, I handle end-to-end project execution, from ideation and design to development and deployment. My expertise spans, this is giving LinkedIn vibes, not a bad thing, this is giving LinkedIn vibes though. My experience spans UI UX design, front end and back end, product strategy. I work with the clients to create intuitive, user friendly interfaces and functional design products. Great job getting it right. And you also have featured projects. We could take a whole bunch of time to review them. I feel like this is some sort of a weird portfolio. If you're using Framer, don't use templates way too often, or just again, if you're a programmer, maybe code your own portfolio, because you can't claim to be a programming agency and then just have a heavy reliance on no code to the point where one of your featured works, I feel like I've seen this 100 times, because this is a template, I think, and it's let me just see, I have a weird feeling this is a template. Wait, this is your site? Does it not lead anywhere? This is weird. Your project, I feel like this is something that I've seen. That's not an issue, maybe get the link corrected, but I feel like this is something that I've seen somewhere else. So just make sure you're not too heavily reliant on your on templates, especially if you're using Framer. If you know Next.js, if you know Python, if you know TypeScript and Tailwind, because Python you claimed in the beginning, maybe just maybe, and if you know Framer Motion, which is a way of creating animations in React, maybe code your own portfolio instead of going Framer, because now when you're going with Framer, it removes my trust in you as a programmer, right? Now you become on the designer side of things and you're not claiming to be a designer in the favorite stack section. So that's a little bit inconsistent. My expertise. All right, you have your expertise. Good job. I feel like video editing wasn't mentioned before and it just came to us for some reason, which is a little bit shocking, but no worries. Frequently asked questions, and now you sort of hijack the cursor, which is also great. I feel like you could just address all of these concerns in, like, the aesthetic of this is bugging me a little bit, because the size, either the size is not right or the colors are not there, because you should have something distinctive going on here, because this just becomes too small for me to read. This gives me that issue. Hold on. Hrithik says, hello Veera, this looks really exciting. Thank you. Normally says using Framer is equal to making your own portfolio. What you on about? I feel like Framer is this relying on no code? Have you programmed this, or is this coming from Framer? Just can you answer that question? Because I do have some doubts, and these aren't my doubts. These are the doubts I've seen in the industry, which hundreds of people hold at a time. And then that becomes a disadvantage to you. Personally, I'm in support of any technology that makes anything at all. Personally, I'm supporting anything that does anything great. So no issues there. Let's work together. I feel like if you could hijack the cursor, maybe do it across the site, because that gives it the feeling that you're going for. There is white space. Great job to you on that, by the way. There is a difference in font, which tells me you can get that font difference right. I feel like this is where it just sort of got disjointed, but I feel like this got it made perfectly. I didn't make that site. Aryan made it himself, pure code. All right, if someone has made it with pure code, then that's great. I was a little bit worried on the tech stack, but if that's the case, I feel like there is a little bit of an inconsistency that made me think. So you have UI UX going on over here, and then you have this being your favorite stack, and UI UX is not present, which is why there is a little bit of disjoint, because either you're claiming to be great in UI UX and then getting it disjointed in the favorite stack section. Something is off here. Something is clearly off here, because if you're claiming to be a UI UX student, this should not be the first template. I have seen this template 100 different times. I swear to God, this comes from somewhere. And and the way I'm speaking, it just appears I'll just get out of the camera and slap someone, because I've seen this a bunch of times, and it becomes a bit of a disappointment, especially when the tone of the hero section is this. This is a great tone, and then it was, I feel like this was a clear, great, simple, luxurious hero section, and then it was disappointment. I was expecting a little bit more. Maybe that's just me. I was expecting a little bit more. Airway. This is something that Airway. This is something that's sort of going around with our cursor. I feel like this is a great addition to the hero section. now we have why Arium. Wait a minute, was it Airway or was it Arium? Get your names right, people. Please get your names right. Whether it's Airway or if it's Arium, I feel like you're confusing everyone. This is again same theme. This is the same author across the first and the second UI, and this is a weird theme, but you can fix it. First thing great, and then disappointment, and then something. Why Arium? Is it Airway? Is it Arium? Please clarify it. Airway equals to the app. Maybe just add this to the page. Maybe add Airway is the app, and then why Arium is decentralized mobility and whatever else. This is a very small UI, a simple UI, not too much happening, so it becomes difficult to have many solid comments over here, but you have a lot of white space. Your fonts are working. Maybe add a little bit of space here, because this spacing and this spacing are really disjointed in terms of evenness across UIs. But I feel like this is fine. This is fine. As long as you ignore the brand breaking, where you have this Airway being the brand and then Arium just confusing the users, because this is something that you can tell me, but whether it downloads or whether it doesn't download is something you can tell me, but it becomes really difficult to tell across the actual people who are using this. You also have the portfolio, which is, I've been told not to expect a lot from, but I do have high hopes, because you sent it to my live stream. I have high hopes of everyone and everything on the live stream. I'm a personal fan of my own live stream. Hilarious. Anyways, we have this portfolio, which is simple. It's fine. Add an emoji, for God's sake. Just add a smiley emoji, the same size as the font. It will give your whole project a happy vibe. Just accept the work in feedback progress, because I have ideas now. I craft websites that captivate and build apps that simply work well. Good for you. You have this font coming up, which is also great. I don't think the site exists more than that. I would add a couple of emojis over here. That would be incredible. I feel like that's the end of this one. Hold on a minute. Why are you sending me someone else's framer? Why is Aryan addicted, and why is that your problem, Ritam? Please get that fixed. With that said, you guys, that was the end of all of the reviews. I do want to talk a little bit about a couple of the questions. So what were the questions that we had? I feel like we were given a couple of questions, and if you guys have any questions related to UI UX design, I feel like this is the time to sort of add them. I also have a couple of screenshots on my phone about the questions that I was hoping to answer on this live stream. So best, most reusable things ever. Hold on, give me a moment. I'll just look it up. This is super weird. Hold on, give me a moment. I feel like there were very interesting questions that I was sort of hoping to answer. Give me a moment. I'm just getting the video, getting the comments, and let's talk about them. Wow. So the first question that I want to talk about is, give some tips on how to get an internship. This has been asked by Infinity, and I want to answer this question in great depth and detail, because why would we not? To get a UI UX internship, get a project that you make, and I feel like we've seen that with the different apps. Like, get a project, get a project app or website that you design a case study, like all of these different people have done. And then step 3 would be to make your own portfolio, where you put all of these different things like Ritam and Aryan are trying to do, and just put all of these case studies and all of these projects in there, and start applying to as many places as you can with a simple, clear portfolio. Speaking of portfolios, if you don't have a portfolio yet, if your portfolio doesn't look good enough, the Launch Your Own Portfolio Masterclass is here. You can check out every single detail in the Discord group, but the long and short of it is, within 3 hours, you will have your very own portfolio website ready to launch for the teensy tiny small price of $14.92. It's literally the price of a pizza, you guys, and in 3 hours, you will have a completely coded up site. You don't have to know programming to get to this masterclass and to just work out with a portfolio that you know how to control, that you know how to customize. The good thing with this masterclass is everyone who walks in will walk out with a different portfolio with their own style. This is why this is very, very specific to UI UX designers, because getting your own typography and color and styles right is very, very important, and I feel like you can do that with the Launch Your Own Portfolio Masterclass. Just go to the link in the description, go to the DevFast Discord group, and Launch Your Own Portfolio Masterclass group is here. Sign in, really simply, read all the details. It's 15 different planned pages and sub pages. Sorry for getting into the self promotion here. It happens this Sunday. at 2nd of March from 5 to 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The next question I have is with Code Brewer. Which software and resources do you use to make videos? For my animated videos, I'll use Premiere Pro, Figma, and what other tools are there? I feel like that's just it. Just animate something and then OBS Studio maybe for the screen recording and live streaming, and that's it. Nothing too fancy and nothing too complicated. I do have a couple of other comments which I would want to talk about. Hold on. What tools should we must learn for UI in 2025? Let's talk about the live stream questions. What should hold on, I should just make my face bigger at this point because we've sort of run out of things to show on screen. This is fine. Give me a moment. I should have set these things up before the live stream, but way too much happened. All right. What should be the tools for what should be the tools must learn for UI in 2025? Figma. That's it. I know it seems shocking, and I know it just seems like there should be huge requirements in terms of tooling, but simple Figma. And by the way, if you don't know how to use Figma yet or don't know how to use Figma clearly, go to this channel. In one of the most recent videos that we've posted on this channel, you'll find the world's easiest Figma crash course happens in 2025, happens in 25 minutes, and that just takes you through the entire process of every single tool and feature that you need to know to just get started as a UI UX designer in 2025. Next we have Airway, normally saying Airway is what I worked. I don't know what that is. I'm just going to skip over that because now I'm confused. EWS asks, would you prefer a job or freelancing project? Depends on you. I've sort of seen the sides of both the stories, and so here's a list of the pros and cons of each. I feel like in both of these scenarios, the biggest myth that exists with freelancing and looking for a real job is you're going to have freedom. If I'm being honest, nothing in the world will give you freedom except accepting what is in front of you and working on it, doing a good job. And then of course you can find annoying people in a workplace. You can also find annoying people in the freelancing side of things. In fact, I have suffered more in the freelancing side of things. So I feel like both of these have their own problems, both of these have their own challenges. If you're looking for the easy way out, sorry to break your heart, but there isn't one. Sometimes freelancing is a good opportunity because you're sitting in a city where there isn't a lot of UI UX design ecosystem present. Maybe you can't move, and there is a lot of people who want a lot of things, and so it would be really, really helpful to them. And so I feel like freelance is good for people. I'm getting to the questions, honestly. I'm just getting to them. Hold on. Freelancing is great for the people who are looking for freedom in terms of where they're located. Job is good for the people who are sort of in their place, and I feel like you can make crazy amounts of money doing each. So money shouldn't be a concern, and problems are always going to be there. So I feel like that's just something that's always present. So you shouldn't be too attached to either. Know that there are going to be realistically challenges in both. No, getting clients isn't easy. No, sticking with a job isn't easy. I wouldn't recommend one before I know your exact positions, but don't expect anything to be easy. Don't expect anything to be too difficult either. It's going to be fine as long as you have great design skills. It's going to be fine. You can land either with the Launch Your Own Portfolio Masterclass. Seriously though, you guys, 3 hours, walk out with a perfect portfolio. Sign up today. Link in the description. It normally says, how do you turn Figma code into code? Would you rather write the code yourself or just use Figma export? Do not ask me about Figma to code export because it is horrible. Figma to code export, I tried it, failed it a bunch of times. It does not work. Write your own code. The first long video that we ever did on this channel was how to take crazy ass UIs and just convert them into real websites. So just go to the bottom of this page or just go to the YouTube channel, go to the long videos that we've done, first proper video, and it was on this exact topic. So you'll see my approach on breaking down complicated UIs into simple code, and you'll just understand what we're talking about in simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Srinivas M says, suggest videos and resources for car animation in Figma for beginners. What's car animation? I am questioning this now. What's car animation? I'm not a car engineer. Why are you asking me about car animations? What's car anime? What's What's car? Hold on. What the? Oh my god. What is car? I want to search this now. I want to look this up. And now you will get to see with me what car animation is. I am a little bit scared on what car animation is going to be. If you could, card animation. I think they meant card animation. Okay. Card animation is there are a bunch of great libraries that exist for card animation, but whether you're looking for car animation, whether you're looking for card animation in either of those cases, animations, there are a couple of ways to do this in Figma. You have the whole prototyping tab. Smart Animate is the best thing that exists in Figma right now if you're looking on the UI UX side of things, but there are also great libraries that exist on the programming side of things. If you're looking for Figma, I feel like you should just Smart Animate those things and try out with the different features that are already present. Figma's Smart Animate timings feature and also gentle, quick, bouncy, all of these are found in the prototype tab. Try it in the Figma prototype. You know what? Should I show it? I feel like I should show it because they've been honest with a question. I should be honest with an answer. In order to do any sort of animation, whether it's car animation, whether it's card animation, this is the only single solution you'll ever need. This is our Launch Your Own Portfolio Masterclass website, which is launching, I think, tomorrow. So that's going to be fun as well. Go to the prototype section, add an interaction, and you can add a click or a drag trigger. Just choose your trigger. It's going to be fine. Click should be fine for the most cases. And then you can have any navigate to... Wait, hold on. I should create a new frame just to address the card animation issue. Get this right here. Change your destination to whatever frame it is. And this is where the magic starts to happen. So just rewind this video. Follow the steps that I've taken to get this thing right. And just, you know what, just have two different frames going on. Go to Prototypes tab. Add an interaction. Whether it's click or drag, do click for the most part. And then you can navigate to a destination. After selecting destination, this is where the magic actually starts to happen. You can either do instant, dissolve, or smart animate. I suggest smart animate. The curve is going to be, you're going to have a lot of fun with these curves. So I would suggest doing smart animate and then one of these curves and then adjusting the timing duration. And then that's just going to be the way things are done. You could try reset scroll position, but maybe don't if you're a beginner. My steps would be smart animate and then any of these guys. That's it. And maybe add a timing feature, but 300 is fine as well. And I feel like these guys have their own timing as well. Time for more questions. I'm not the best designer, but I love system admin stuff, DevOps, and business architecture stuff. I would recommend normally don't go for way too much in the beginning. Don't bite off more than you can chew, because I did that a really long time ago, and it just makes you less specific in what you're doing and doesn't give you, like, jack of all trades, master of none will not be the first one getting hired. So if you want to be the first one that's selected, I feel like you should have a great command over this one thing that you do. Go for the system admin stuff. I'm not going to stop you, but then just get committed to that. So just commit to one thing and see it all the way through, especially when you're trying to master one craft. All right. Suggest videos for the card animation. We did that. EW says, thank you so much, ma'am. You are doing great. Thank you so much. You are doing great as well, EWS. SKU2 LED says, can you give the idea of customizable onboarding for a fitness app? Fitness app. Hold on. Customized onboarding for a... I'm thinking, because I have something to say here and I have something to show you as well. So don't go away. Do I have something for systems idea? If you guys want, you know what, if you guys don't leave this video and run away, I'll show you the greatest tool that I have ever had for app designs, and you can have this tool as well in the future. I don't know how. I might have to broadcast it. I might have to go to your houses, knock on individual doors and broadcast it to people. But I'm going to show you a couple of concepts. Maybe something you like is present in this weird mix and maybe you'll like it. Fitness app. What do we have for fitness apps? This is, hold on, check this out. I did this many years ago. Don't judge me, please, but I feel like if you're just getting started, this is the perfect fitness app. Have your heart rate in here, have your BPM in here, start your exercise. This is the simplest things you can do. We don't have a title bar over here yet. You do have this lightly opaque background image, and you have your steps for this day and then this day and this day, and you have your targets and tracks. Just screenshot this image, get started with this. If you want me to make a fitness app based on this or based on any other concept, type fitness app in the live chat. I'll maybe do it in the next coming couple of days. But hopefully this gets you started. Normally says every new design is every other front-end developer's worst nightmare. If it is, go to the first video that I ever posted on this channel. Now that we're just committed to looking at all of this stuff, you know what, I'm just going to go to my own channel and talk about what the wow, I live in YouTube studio now. I don't go out anytime. Hold on, I'll show you. While I have so many things to show. Wait, please. If you go to the videos section on this channel, if you go to the oldest videos that I've ever done, I get that in Instagram and also in YouTube, a lot of people say when you make a fancy UI design, programmers have a hard time building it out. Watch this video. It's 3 minutes 51 seconds long, and it converts any Figma UI design prototype into a complete website with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or at least walks you through the complete process of doing it for one very, very fancy UI. So I think we took one of the very fancy UIs that I did in the beginning. So if you go to the oldest on my channel, I used to post fancy UIs. I took this fancy UI, which was actually quite complicated to build, and then built it out in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then sort of walked you through that process in that video. Go watch the video. It's going to help you by a whole lot. Normally says, honestly, 1980s websites were the best. No, they were not. Agree to disagree. Srinivas says, thank you, ma'am. SKU2let says, fitness app, I will do a live stream on the fitness app, hopefully on or after Monday, because I feel like this week we have way too much going on. Speaking of the way too much that's going on, does anyone want to know how to design the perfect case study? Watch me design one live in a exclusive masterclass, which just walks you through the complete process entirely for free. Just type yes in the chat right now. Do it. Don't be shy. Come on. Type yes in the chat. With that said, the Launch Your Own Portfolio Masterclass is also here, which is going to be super duper awesome. We're going to go live on an exclusive Zoom call. Maximum group size is 10 participants. Most seats are already filled. The price is really, really low. Go sign up now. And it's only going to get higher. Timing is 5 to 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Happens on 2nd of March 2025. You walk out with a complete website. Each different page is handled. And I also walk you through the whole complicated saga of privacy policy, legal pages, and all the weird things that are in the websites where people don't know how to add them in the beginners, in a beginner's journey in UI UX design. So all the different weird concepts are also addressed. We talk about how to build your perfect about page, a blog page, featured projects, case studies, your tech expertise, animated CVs and resumes. Your services and skills are perfectly shown on the site. You have testimonials, you have a contact me form. There is a social media page dedicated to your social media on your own portfolio side. You have your legal safety web pages and notices. There is a page for your copyright notices and terms of use. Disclaimers are there, confidentiality is there, limitation of liability is there. Why would you not join this? Like, by the end, you walk with a cutting-edge UI design, a fully customizable website with over 15 pages, and the knowledge to make infinitely many of your own. If you want more on that, just ask me anything in the Discord group or just sign up. It's really, really quick. It's really, really easy. And we've done such a great job. In fact, you know what? The last time we did this masterclass, I had a couple of nice reviews, and in fact, all reviews were nice, but we had a couple of people with their reviews. If you guys want to see, I will also post the reviews of the people who've attended this class previously and how their journey sort of improved. With that said, EW is saying type in case. I don't know what that means. Thank you so much for joining me live. Maybe go join the Discord group. Maybe subscribe to the channel. I will see you again, hopefully tomorrow, talking about the perfect case study. If that was what you're talking about, we'll do the perfect case study masterclass tomorrow. Go join the Discord group for all the details. Link in the description. I will see you then. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.